In the next set of lectures, I'll be talking about the 4 market structures: pure competition market structure, pure monopoly market structure, monopolistic competition market structure, and oligopolistic market structure. This presentation here is only about the pure competition market structure. Normally, we characterize the pure competition market structure by looking at 5 major characteristics. 1, many firms. 2, many consumers. 3, a homogeneous product. 4, easy entry, easy exit. And 5, perfect information. I'm going to go through all 5 of them. The first major characteristic of a pure competition market structure is many firms. Well, what precisely is many? Well, many means that there are so many firms that no single firm can significantly affect the market price. So once again, how many is many? So many such that no single firm can significantly affect the market price. So no firm has monopolistic power. Again, no firm in a pure competition market possesses any semblance of monopolistic power. The second characteristic of a pure competition market structure is many consumers. Well, how many is many? So many such that no single consumer can significantly affect the market price. In other words, no single consumer has any semblance of monopolistic power, not monopolistic power that applies to firms. Here we're dealing with consumers. So the market power of consumers is monopsonistic power. Well, anyway, since there are so many consumers, no single consumer or no consumer has any monopsonistic power. So what precisely is the meaning of these first 2 characteristics, many firms and many consumers? The meaning is that every firm in a pure competition market structure is a price taker, not a price maker. In the other 3 market structures, pure monopoly, monopolistically competitive market structure, and the oligopolistic market structure, the firms are indeed price makers, but not in the pure competition market structure. So who determines the price in a pure competition market structure? It's the market. It's the interplay of the many firms and many consumers. So the price that each individual company in a pure competition market structure will be charging is the market price. Well, you might ask, what if any company decides to charge a higher price? Let's assume that the market price is $60. And let's say that our firm decides to charge, well, $61. What's going to happen? What's going to happen is our company will sell nothing, because consumers will go to our competitors who are following the economic prescription of charging the market price of $60. So once again, if the market price is $60 and our company charges a price which is higher than $60, it is assumed that consumers will go to our competitors. So our firm will sell zero. And what if we charge a higher price? Excuse me, what if we charge a lower price? Lower price. What if the market price is $60 and our price is $58? Well, in this case, our company will sell everything which it produces, but it will not be maximizing its profits, or in case of a loss, it will be not minimizing its losses. So again, what is the meaning of this many firms and many consumers? It means that every firm in a pure competition market structure is a price taker. Every firm will take the market price. In our case here, $60. So again, what if our firm charges a higher price than the market price? Then in that case, our company will sell zero. And what if it charges a lower price than the market price? In that case, our firm will sell everything, but it will not be able to maximize profits, minimize losses. The third characteristic of a pure competition market structure is a homogeneous product. What does that mean basically? It means that all the firms in a pure competition market are producing and selling the same item. In other words, there is no product differentiation. Whether it's real product differentiation or imagined product differentiation. The product is assumed to be homogeneous. Think of the word identical. Well, this characteristic, therefore, assumes that there can be no product differentiation, no marketing. The fourth characteristic of a pure competition market structure is easy entry, easy exit. This is a strange one, I know, but you have to understand that this pure competition market structure is a hypothetical market structure. There are no solid, real-life examples. Well, you might ask then, why are we studying it? Well, to serve as a reference point. That's what a pure competition market structure is. It's a reference point that we utilize in order to draw comparisons, contrasts with the other market structures like pure monopoly, monopolistic competition, and oligopolistic behavior. So what is this easy entry all about? It means that there are no restrictions to entry into this market structure. There are no licenses, there are no taxes. You just enter and start your business. And the same thing applies to easy exit. There are no exit restrictions. You just decide, I'm out, and you're out. Easy entry, easy exit. No trade restrictions whatsoever. Trade restrictions in this context means there are no entry barriers. You just start your business, period. The fifth major characteristic of pure competition, of a pure competition market structure, is perfect information. And that normally applies to price. It means that everyone in the market, all of the firms, all of the consumers, are aware of the market price. And you already know that it will be the market determined price, which will be the price taken by all of the firms in a pure competition market structure. There are some other characteristics of pure competition. I think I have extracted the 5 major ones. And now for the graphing part. I will put on the whiteboard 2 graphs. The first one representing the market graph, and the second one representing a typical pure competition market firm. All right, so let's go to a pure competition market, whatever the product is. So this is a market diagram, okay? And here on the other side, this will be a pure competition firm. And here in parentheses, I'll say it's a typical firm. It's sort of average, right? They don't all look this way. This is the average or prototypical pure competition firm. Okay, so first to the pure competition market diagram. Here we have the price. Here we have the quantity. And to use the language of pure competition, here is the demand curve. What does the demand curve represent? The demand curve represents many consumers. Well, what does that mean, many? It means that no single consumer can significantly affect the market price. Another way put, no single consumer or groups of consumers have any monopsonistic power or buying power. On the supply side, that positively sloped line, curve, represents firms. More specifically, in a pure competition market structure, there are many firms. And how many is many? So many, such that no single firm can significantly affect the market price. In other words, no single firm has any monopolistic power. So, who sets the price? The price is set by an interplay, whatever that word means. Some people call it market forces. Others call it the invisible hand. Anyway, so it's supply and demand, which creates the equilibrium price, let's call it P1, and the equilibrium quantity, Q1. Okay, now, on the pure competition firm side, once again, we're looking at a typical pure competition firm. Okay, so on the y-axis, we have per unit values, AFC, AVC, ATC, MC, P, AR, MR, in other words, the whole 9 yards. Per unit values go on the y-axis. On the x-axis, we have quantity, except it's different than the PC market quantity, because the PC market represents the entirety of the production of all of the firms, whereas Q on the right side represents production by the single firm. All right, to continue, we have the average total cost curve. Below it, we have the average variable cost curve, and this is the shutdown point. This is the liquidation point. And what does the marginal cost curve do? It goes right through both of them, MC curve. The intersection of marginal cost curve and AVC curve identifies the shutdown point, and the intersection between the marginal cost curve and the ATC curve identifies the liquidation point. All right, so question. Let me switch colors. Red. What price will our pure competition firm charge? It's going to charge this price here, because that's the market price. And you remember, price is also equal to marginal revenue, because we're dealing with pure competition. And our company is going to produce how much? It's going to produce the value of production, which is shown by the intersection between the marginal cost curve and the marginal revenue line. So our company is going to produce this amount. Let's call it Q asterisk. All right. More graphs. On this side, PC market, pure competition market. And on the other side, a typical PC firm. Okay? Now, pure competition market diagram, price, quantity, demand, representing many consumers. How many is many? So many, such that no single consumer has any monopsonistic power. Positively sloped supply curve, representing many, many firms. How many is many? So many, such that no single firm significantly influences the market price. So, how is the price set? Through equilibrium. So this will be, so P1 will be the market price, and Q1, that's the total production of the entire market. Now, on the typical pure competition firm side, we have this diagram. per unit values, quantity, and here average total cost, below it average variable cost, shutdown point, liquidation point, also known as long run equilibrium, also known as zero economic profit, and the marginal cost curve intersecting the shutdown point and intersecting the liquidation point. This is the marginal cost curve. I switch colors. So, okay, let's see. What price will our firm charge? What price will any firm in the market charge? The equilibrium price. So let's apply it. This is the equilibrium price. Okay? And every firm, including our firm, will apply marginal revenue, which is equal to price, to its cost structure, namely marginal cost, and it will determine the MR equals MC point, and it will produce this much. Okay, now, as you see here, this is P is equal to marginal revenue. Yeah? And as you see, the price is greater than the price is greater than average total cost. Average total cost would be right here. It's the intersection between the quantity line and the average total cost curve. So this would be ATC. So price is greater than average total cost, and that means total revenues are greater than total cost, and that means profit. Now, in green, what's going to happen in green? Well, in green, I'm going to introduce an event, and that event is going to be an increase in income of the consumers. And the idea here is to show you what happens in the long run. Except what is happening in the long run is all assumed, because in reality this market structure does not exist. This is a hypothetical analysis. So here is the event: an increasing consumer income. Well, is this a demand or supply event? It's a demand event. So what will happen to the pure competition market diagram? What's going to happen is an increase in demand from D1 to D2. This is a rightward shift of demand. So what will be the results? The results will be, there will be an increase in price, and with an increase in price, what will happen? Every firm will charge a higher price. Well, if every firm is charging a higher price and producing more, the profits will go up. And if the profits go up, what's going to happen to the market? Well, higher profits are going to be a signal to the outside world. It's like a big neon sign in the sky: profit, profit, profit. So how will the business environment react? Well, new entrants will enter our market because of our provision there. You remember one of our characteristics. One of our characteristics is easy entry. There are no market entry barriers. There are no trade barriers. So new firms will come in because of higher profits, and when they come in, there will be more supply. So what's going to happen to our supply curve? Our supply curve is going to increase, and that's a rightward shift of our supply curve. So what will that do to price? Price will fall. And when price falls, that is going to mean lower profits. And if there are lower profits, some firms will leave the market. And then what happens when these firms leave the market? Well, then eventually supply is going to decrease. So that's going to be a leftward shift of the supply curve. So what's going to happen to price? Price is going to increase. So what's going to happen to profits? Profits will increase. And when profits increase, there'll be new entrants, in which case supply will increase, a rightward shift of the supply curve. So price will fall. And this will go on and on and on and on. This is how economists imagine this hypothetical market structure process. It's a continual ebb and flow, back and forth, back and forth. Go to epsilon on BCom.